So the next question that we often hear from our clients is, great. Do I need to worry about this on the pharmacy benefit, medical benefit? Is it both? So what we did is we actually took all those 1,400 clinical studies and looked at, all right, well, what type of route of administration of those drugs are they, and what type of drugs are they? So if you look at small molecule drugs and you make an assumption that most of those are probably going to be oral, since most oral products are small molecules, you can see that that is represents around 53% of those clinical trials that we were looking at. Now, if you look at the rest of those with antibodies, biologics, antisense oligonucleotides, et cetera, more likely to be under the medical benefit, and you add those up, that's about a 50%. So it's pretty consistent what we've seen year over year, with the split being in drugs coming to market around 50% medical versus pharmacy. The other piece, when we look at the specific conditions that they treat, not surprising, we can see that there's a similar continuing trend that we're seeing now, with 60% targeting some type of oncology diagnosis, followed by cardiovascular, immunology, and CNS disorders. So definitely something to keep in mind. And the fact that this is a cross-benefit issue, it's not a medical benefit issue, it's not a pharmacy benefit issue, it's an overall cost management issue that we need to think about. How do we best utilize information that we obtain from genetic tests to ensure that the patients get the most clinical effective treatment, and then utilize that information properly. The last piece of information I'm going to talk about here is the fact that a lot of times when we've done a separate analysis looking at prior authorizations, what we found a lot of times is, well, for these drugs, yes, that are on the market, there is a requirement for a genetic test, but nobody's really collecting results. And that could be an issue because a lot of these, if you're looking at 60% of these drugs are in oncology, chances are the patient's going to fail therapy and move to another drug, which might require another genetic test. And as Jillian was talking with these multi-gene tests, is that you're potentially getting multiple results. And so you don't want to start increasing costs by requiring patients to go seek another genetic test to get results to approve a prior auth. So there's an importance here around the connection of those different areas around prior auth to the actual claim processing. And that's going to take us into what Jared will be talking about in a minute here. So overall, as you can see, an increasing large proportion of the drug spend is going to be across multiple clinical areas. And there's going to be probably genetic tests tied to those as well. And that to effectively manage these going into the future, you really need to start thinking about this in a more holistic manner, from prior auth all the way to claims processing.